my name is Kate. I'm also known as Two Little Kits. Welcome to my FlossTube. This is episode 34 and I have lots to share this time around, so let's get started. So we're going to dive right into something that I'm going to try for the first time with my pattern releases, and I'm going to be releasing my next pattern for Ko-fi supporters and members first before it goes live on my website. I'm still working out the timetable. I'm thinking that this coming Friday, if you've been a supporter or you are on one of my membership tiers, the supporter needs to be within the last 30 days, then you will get access to my next pattern at a discount as well, just pointing that out, 4 days in advance. So if you haven't and you feel like it, feel free to sign up for a membership. The cheapest one is just $3 a month, and it's just to show that you really like my content, like all my stuff that I post on Instagram, for example, or you appreciate the tips and the inspiration that I provide for whatever it may be that you need, or you have gotten a bunch of my patterns and you don't think that I charged enough or something, whatever the reason might be. That is sort of encapsulating the membership thing that I have going on right now. I am actually considering changing it a little bit, probably early next year, but that's a whole other thing that we'll just bench for now. But the pattern that I'm going to be releasing is the Office Sampler. Oh my God, I have been working on this pattern for 3 years now. I'm kind of kicking myself that I have been so slow and so anxious about this pattern. I feel like I need to get it absolutely perfect, which I guess I feel like that about all patterns, but this one's kind of different. I don't know, but I'm putting my foot down. I am telling myself that it needs to finally go out so that people can buy it and stitch it and love it as much as I have poured hours and hours of time into this pattern. So to recap, I'm going to be posting it on my Ko-fi page, which I have a link for in the description below, on this Friday, the 21st of October. If you aren't a subscriber or part of one of my memberships, that's fine. I will be releasing it on my website next Monday, the 25th of October. So that's going to be my next pattern that I release. It's going to be another sampler finally, yay! So I'm very excited, I'm very nervous, and I really hope that it gets well received, basically. In related news, my pattern that I released last week is available. It's called To Do, and I shared it as a preview in last FlossTube, and it hasn't really gotten much attention, but as I mentioned in my last FlossTube, I don't make patterns for them to be hits or go viral or anything like that. I make them for me, and this one tickles the funny bone. So yeah, it's available, and I don't remember where I put the finished piece. Oh, it's over here. So this is what it is. I didn't put a backing piece on it so you can see the back. Went with my own test stitches, I don't generally put a back piece on them, or a back piece of fabric, what I'm trying to say. So yeah, you can see the back stitching, but that's what it is. But you can see me through it. Anyway, that happened, and it was so much easier than 2 weeks prior when I released 2 patterns in one day, so that was good. The next thing that I want to talk about is my surgery and my foot and toe and everything that encapsulates that topic. As I mentioned last FlossTube, had a second surgery, so I had reconstructive surgery on my toe. Basically, I will add a chapter here to allow you to skip ahead if you don't want to hear all of this, because it's pretty gnarly, but I'm not going to show you what it looks like So don't worry about graphics or anything like that. Anyway, basically I had 2 screws put in my foot. The reason for that, to go way back, is last Halloween I shattered the big toe in my left foot. It never healed properly, and basically I had chronic fracturing, and that was the best that it healed, pretty much. So I got 2 screws put in my foot. One of them is in the ball of my foot where my big toe, connects to my foot, the rest of my foot. And that one's fine. So I still have that screw in my foot, but I had another screw that went lengthways in my big toe. And my doctor suspects that in my sleep, the muscles in my foot have actually pulled that screw and it re-broke my toe. So cool, less than ideal. I went in for emergency reconstructive surgery. The Monday that I released the last FlossTube, I was really glad that I actually set it all up before I went into surgery. I had like all my imagery prepared. I had YouTube scheduled to release the video, and it was just, that's an aside, but I was just like, oh, I'm really glad that that went all up. Anyway, so Monday I was just knocked out. I was not doing well emotionally. I found out that Thursday what had actually happened to my toe in the surgery, because I was just not wanting to have any kind of mental attachment to my foot. So I was disassociating like majorly. But anyway, on Thursday I had my first follow-up appointment where they had to do a dressing change and an x-ray and all of that, and so I got to actually see what happened to my foot. This is the TMI and the trigger warning, I guess. I now have 3 pins in my toe, so they now go on top of the bone, 3 pins in like a little fan that have a curve like on the end. So I've got these 3 metal things sticking out of my tip of my toe, and they are a brace internally in my toe to make sure that the bone doesn't keep like floating up, because it wants to just keep rising up towards my toenail pretty much. So yeah, not great. I'm having to do redressing myself. That's what I've been told to do, and put Neosporin on the bit with the pins, and I really don't like that at all. But it is what it is, and I will be getting the pins removed in a little over 4 weeks. Which I'm just like, I want them out now. It's giving me like, the willies, like just thinking about it. I want them out, like more than anything, but I am so dreading getting them taken out, because I got the stitches taken out on the following Monday. That's right. I don't think he wanted to wait much longer than that based on how my skin reacted to the stitches the first time around, because he had to actually cut my skin to get the stitches out. Anyway, I was crying in the doctor's office, so I am not looking forward to this. I just want it done. But I'm kind of really bummed that I have family photos planned for early November, and unfortunately I'm still gonna have to be wearing my moon boot for those, so that really sucks. My last year's family photos, which I will share a picture of, like here or something, I'm not sure, I had my moon boot. So I was hoping that it was only going to be a once-off thing, but whatever. I should, fingers crossed, touch wood, oh my god, all the things, that I will have the boot off by Christmas. Fingers crossed. So that's the thing. Oh, the other thing that I want to share is I got to keep the screw, which at the time I was like, I'm not okay with this, but that was while I was still waking up and bleary-eyed and all of that from the surgery itself. But now that it's been almost 2 weeks, and I don't know, it's been out of me for 2 weeks, I guess, I think it's super cool. And I actually bought this. I haven't set it up yet because I keep forgetting to bring it upstairs. I've actually got it in my bag, like the bag that I carry around with me day to day. I'm actually gonna I'm gonna hang it in on this little clip and have just a little screw like that. That's the kind of person and the kind of humor that I have. But it was inside of me for 3 weeks, and it was supposed to be there forever, but its brethren will be there forever. So now that that graphic description and photo overlays and all of that are done, let's move on to something much more fun, which is finished pieces. I have finished pieces over the last 2 weeks, but I don't have them anymore. So I'm going to overlay the videos that I took of the finished pieces. 2 of them you will have seen in the last FlossTube, which obviously I hooped and backed and photographed and videoed and then mailed off in a big package, which, oh, I took a video of that. I need to make a post about that. I'm gonna write myself a note. Okay. Oh, I lost my notes about the FlossTube. There we go. So that's what I finished in the last 2 weeks, and the little tiny ornament, the house outline, that one was a start to finish during the last 2 weeks. So I didn't get to hold it up for you to show it to you, but that was one of my works in progress as well, obviously. Moving into works in progress, I did those finished pieces. I also have been working on the piece that I covered up slightly, which I'm not going to share, unfortunately. I'm sorry, it's too far along now. Trust me, I'm going to show the bejesus out of it when it's been received, so you'll just have to be patient with me. But I've been working on the stitch along. Is it upside down? No. So that's where I'm at. I am behind again. I did catch up. I actually caught up for chapter 6, I think it was. I think it was chapter 6. Once I caught up from this one, which was the one I was actively working on last FlossTube. After I received the next chapter, which was this piece down here, I got really burnt out. Like, I woke up and was just not loving working on this. So I, listened to my brain, and I haven't been doing a lot of stitching on it. So now there's this piece down here that I need to finish, and then this cutout here has been released, which, as you can see, I have done a little bit of. I'm feeling it a little bit more today, and today is Saturday the 15th. So I was doing a little bit of stitching earlier today. Part of why I was feeling really burnt out was I keep miscounting with this piece, and I know it's because it's huge and I'm holding it and stitching it in hand. But the black on this bit down here, this claw that you can see the start of, I don't even know how I messed up so bad. I didn't even add 10 stitches to it. I added like 6 or something. So the claw bit was way over here. And as you can see, I've started a spine of a book here. So that's how I figured out what was wrong. The other thing I've noticed is the bottom dots of my grid are 2 dots too high. So that's throwing me off really bad. But I figured it out, and yeah, it could be worse. It could have been in the middle or some nonsense like that. I would have just cut this up and just thrown it out if I had done something like that this far along. Anyway, that is coming along. I still haven't done any back stitching, but that's okay. I'm gonna be leaving the back stitching until the very end, I think. That's what I keep telling myself anyway. So there's that, and the other thing that I've been stitching as a work in progress is this piece, which I'm not going to be showing you the design of because it is going to give it away, because this is for a gift exchange that I'm a part of. So with this one, I've been trialing half stitches throughout the edges, and I'm not loving it. I like the way it looks down here. You can kind of see it maybe in the camera. You can see it up in the sky that I've started up here. I don't mind it when it's on the edge, but I haven't done it in the middle. The middle's all full cross stitches, but you can kind of see that it's all really speckled on the sides here. And so I'm actually thinking about going back and adding in those missing top stitch pretty much. So it was something that I was just giving a go. It looked pretty cool on the pattern itself. Obviously, a pattern isn't really indicative of what a finished piece is going to look like, and that is why, ladies and gentlemen, I test stitch, or I get one of my test stitches to test stitch for me. God, that's really hard to say fast, because you don't know what's really going to work necessarily. It might look good digitally, but then when you go to stitch it, it looks like poop. But anyway, so this is coming along. This is on 18 count because it's going to go into a 4-inch hoop. I'm stitching it in a 5-inch just because I have the space on my fabric, but it's going to be, that was kind of why, because I didn't want to do it full coverage, but you can see that it was just going to fade out pretty much. So that's been cool. I did the pattern, so if you really want to see the pattern, you can go and watch my latest stream, because I streamed myself stitching it. Hello, Kate speaking. Thank you. Bye. I got a phone call and I need to respond to it via text. Okay, that's sorted. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the other things that I've been working on is ornament designs. Yay! I was feeling like really anti-ornaments for a week, so I'm a little bit behind, but I'm not worried. So if you're watching this and you've placed an order, don't stress, it's still coming. Yeah, I've started some ornament designs. I'm excited. I'm hoping to crank out those designs really quickly so that I can start stitching, so that, yeah, I can feel like I'm on top of things, basically. Obviously, also, I've been working on the office sampler pattern too, but I already talked about that. So, yeah, awkward. It can be really awkward just talking to a camera. I apologize. Moving on to haul. I know that I said I was supposed to not get new stuff, but I realized that I needed to get some more of this. This is sparkly DMC fabric. This is what I used for my ornaments last year, and I think it really gave a nice touch to them. So I got these two, which I have some still from previous year, but I'm 99% certain that this will be all I need for all the ornaments that I have now. So I got, yeah, those two, and they're so pretty. I know that you won't be able to see the sparkles, but just in case, I got these because I'm trying still to up my game when it comes to my packaging, that's the word, and I think these will be really cute. I have these little letter stamps, so I'm gonna just sort of play around with like a happy Christmas or something like that on these and attach them to my ornaments. I got some floss because there was a bunch of colors that I kept looking for. This isn't all of it. There's like 2 extra skeins that I've already started using, but I keep looking for these specific colors and I don't know where they are. One of them was, 2 of them were for this actually. It's just frustrating. So I got those ones, and I got a couple that I really am running low on that aren't in my box of spare flosses. So there's that. I also got these because they were on special. They're super shiny. I've heard that they're really good to work with compared to other metallic flosses, and I'm not sure exactly what I will do with them, but they're Christmas themed. So it will be something with the ornaments. That's the idea anyway. And then I got these 2 because they were 65% off because they're fall-ish colors, but more fabric for backing regular hoops. I'm not going to be backing ornaments with these, But I really like this one, and I've been wanting to get a really bold back. So I got those two. Oh, and I got the lights because they were on special as well. And I got some Christmas ones too because I couldn't help myself. So those ones will go up in a couple months. So I feel like I'm ready for ornaments. Oh, actually I'm not. I need to get some more hoops, I think. I need to double check what I've got in my box of hoops. And then once I figured that out, then I'll be ready. But I need to stitch them all before I need to worry about hoops. So that's not urgent. I wanted to ask a question. I've been looking into a new emailing service, basically price shopping for the things that I would want out of an email service, because I realized that email lists, I mean, this is not a new realization, don't get me wrong. I know that email lists are really important for a small business, for any business, but especially for a small business. And I've got all these emails that people have given to me willingly because they either have shopped from me or they actually want to hear from me, or, well, those are the two reasons. But I'm not doing anything with this email list. And I fully intended, probably 12 months ago or even longer than that, to do one email a month of just a text version of this, pretty much, with links to posts that I'd written within the last month, new products that I'd released, links to FlossTube, links to funny social media posts, whether they're my own or someone else's that's related to stitching. My problem, well, two problems. One is part of the list is not people who are interested in stitchy content, but they're customers who have bought a commission from me. So they're not going to be interested necessarily in all of the content I just mentioned. So there's figuring out that differentiation and what I would do with it, with that information, I mean. The other thing is just doing it, really. So I want to know, before I invest a heap of time into this, what would you like to get out of a newsletter from someone like me? Would you be wanting to just get a wrap-up, like what I just described, of things that I've done or have plans to do, or coupons for discounts of my patterns, or knowing about cool new things in the stitchy world? I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out there. Or would you want something completely different? Want to hear about other stuff? And how often as well? I don't want to invest a bunch of time and money into this to get a whole bunch of unsubscribes, pretty much, because that's a waste of my time and money. But also, as I've mentioned many times, I want to provide content to people that's actually what those people want. I hope that makes sense. Please let me know in the comments, or you can contact me via a direct message or the contact form through my website, or however you prefer. I would really, really love to hear your thoughts on this. I don't like relying so heavily on Instagram, but social media in general, to reach the people that are interested in hearing about me. Because you hear so many horror stories about people just having their account shut down and that's it. They lose their audience. And I know that that's not necessarily going to happen to me anytime soon, but who knows? So yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. So my washing machine's just started vibrating loudly, of course, so that's super cool and helpful. Another thing that I want to bring up is I fully intended over the last 2 weeks to start streaming on Instagram once a week. The first time was surgery, so I didn't that day. And then the second time, because to backtrack, I am planning on doing the Instagram streams on Mondays. So the first one was the Monday I had surgery, and then the second one, I completely forgot until the weekend prior that my kids had a pupil-free day of school, so they were home and I couldn't really do it then. So today, if I'm releasing this on time, I plan on going live on Instagram. So that'll be fun. I'm not sure what I'll work on. I'll figure that out. Don't worry. Join me. I'll set up a story reminder thing so that you can get pinged when I'm gonna go live. I think that's pretty much everything. I hope that the lighting has been so much better. I've got my ring light set up, which I think I did last time too, but I can't remember. But I got this like privacy light refracting thing. It's like a contact paper that you spray water on your window and it sticks that way with static electricity. I put that up on my window and it's dimmed the light very nicely. I try not to look up at my little screen when I'm recording, so that's why the last FlossTube was really blown out, so apologies for that. Thank you very much for watching. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on the couple of things that I have going on and about the newsletter topic. Again, leave me a comment below with your thoughts or contact me via a personal message in whatever way you prefer. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe and all of that good stuff, and I will see you around the internet. Bye!